Today we'll begin section 9.2. After this lesson, you'll be able to define the words initial side, terminal side, standard position. We'll then talk about coterminal angles. In class, we'll define what a radian is, and we'll be skipping sector and central angle for this year. Let's first look at the core concept on page 249 of your journal, and this will define a couple of the words for us. What we're going to be doing is drawing angles in standard position, and what that means is the vertex of the angle will be here at the origin of the x and y axes. Then one of the rays of the angle, we're going to lie on the positive x-axis. This ray we're going to call the initial side. Then we're going to rotate some amount of degrees. If the angle is positive degrees, we're going to rotate up and around, which actually ends up being counterclockwise. So let's say my angle is 120 degrees. I'm going to go up and around 120 degrees. This second ray where I finish rotating, this ray is called the terminal side. Now, had the angle been negative, we would then rotate down and around or clockwise. Where the terminal side lays or lands, the terminal side lands here, and it lands in quadrant 2. So we would say this angle lands in quadrant 2 or is in quadrant 2. So again, as a review, to draw an angle in standard position, we must have the vertex at the origin and the initial side on the x-axis. We can then rotate up or down, whichever direction we need to go, and our second ray is called the terminal side. So let's practice drawing some angles. Let's go to our notes packet. So the first angle we're going to draw is 240 degrees. So let's draw our axes. Our vertex of the angle will be at the origin, and my initial ray will lay here on the x-axis. I'm then going to rotate 240 degrees. Well, let's think about the degrees. If we start our terminal ray here and we rotate up or positive, if I rotate to this top line here, I've rotated 90 degrees. If I continue rotating, I make a straight line, and that means I've rotated 180 degrees. Again, continue another quadrant, and I've now rotated 270 degrees. And then a full circle would be 360 degrees. And then you can continue that pattern going around and around and around. So for example 1A, 240 degrees. I'm going to rotate up because it's positive. I'm going to go past the 90. This is 180. Now, if I were to go all the way down, it's going to be 270. And 240 is somewhere between 180 and 270. So I'm going to stop in quadrant 3 and draw my terminal angle. That's it. Let's try B. Draw our x and y axes. My vertex will be at the origin, my initial ray here on the x-axis. I'm now going to rotate 500 degrees. So I'm going up 90, 180, 270, 360. I'm going to continue around. 360 plus 90 more will be 450. 450 plus 90 more will be 540. So I don't want that much. I want somewhere between 450 and 540. So I'm going to stop in quadrant 2, and there will be my terminal side. Let's try the next one. Drawing our x and y axes. Our vertex will be here at the origin. My initial ray, always on that x-axis. Now this time I'm going to go negative, so that means I'm going to go down and around. Now I'm going to travel down. I'm not going to go all the way down because that would be 90, and I only want negative 50, so I'm going to land somewhere in quadrant 4. And here is my terminal ray. Go ahead and try the monitoring progress. We'll review those answers in class. Now, let's look at coterminal angles. Coterminal angles means that their terminal sides coincide. Okay, they share terminal sides. So many angles can land on the same spot. For instance, if you look at example 1b, 500 degrees we drew. If I were to just draw 140 degrees, that would be starting here. 140 degrees would actually land right here in the same spot. So these two angles, both 140 degrees and 500 degrees, are going to be coterminal. They both started and stopped at the same spot, but the 500 is 360 degrees more than the 140, and that's exactly how you're going to figure out what coterminal angles are. You're going to add or subtract multiples of 360 to find a coterminal angle. So let's try example 2a. We have the angle negative 45 degrees. We want to find at least one positive and one negative angle that also is coterminal with this. So all you're going to do is add 360 and 360 and negative 45 make an angle of 315 degrees. Now we're going to take negative 45 degrees and subtract 360, and that gives us negative 405 degrees. You could do a quick sketch just to prove that this is true. If I were to do a quick sketch of negative 45, that means I'm going to go down. I'm going to land somewhere in quadrant 4. If I were to do a quick sketch of 315, that's 90, 180, 270. Yep, I'm going to land right there. How about negative 405? I'm going to go down 90, 180, 270, 360, and a little bit more, and I'm going to land at the same spot. So notice they all land here. Let's try B. For B, the angle's 395. I want to find a positive and negative coterminal. So let's add 360, and I get an angle of 755 degrees. I can then subtract 360, and I get 35 degrees. Well, this is still positive, so I can actually subtract again until I get a negative answer of negative 325 degrees. So when they say they want a positive and negative, I definitely want to give this as my negative, and it doesn't matter which of these two you give as the positive, you can give either one. Tomorrow in class we'll try the monitoring progress, and also we're going to find another way to measure angles, not just in degrees. And that will be tomorrow. See you then.